dramatic afternoon here at Old Trafford. 20 minutes before the scheduled kick-off, fans started to be evacuated from two of the stands. Sniffer dogs arrived. Just after 3 o'clock, news started to filter through that the match between Manchester United and Bournemouth had been abandoned, and now an evacuation is underway. Behind me here, reports that the bomb squad have been arriving. Here we are, there is confirmation that the bomb disposal unit arriving here at Old Trafford, suggesting there will be some kind of controlled explosion.
The last day of the Premier League football season was thrown into chaos this afternoon when tens of thousands of fans had to be evacuated from Manchester United's Old Trafford Stadium.
Shortly before kick-off, thousands of fans had already taken their seats inside the stadium, but then suddenly everything changed. And instead of watching a football match, fans were being evacuated from the stadium and the game dramatically cooled off.
When the fixtures came out, Man United popped out last, so in May, and yeah, I obviously pitched it to the guys and said, how about a ride to Manchester or Old Trafford? Previously it would have been a pitch of an idea to Rochdale or Bury or somewhere like that, so Old Trafford obviously was a little bit more appealing.
He came up with this great idea just before Christmas, saying, oh yes, let's ride to Man United for the last game of the season, and looked at him and thought, no way, he's just totally on a different planet.
We wanted to do it sort of in association with the club itself, so we looked at what their charities were, and Dorset Cancer Care was one of those. Jeff Mott's team was the patron of the charity, so I thought that was an ideal one to go with. So we went with them, met up with them and Stefano, who did our kit, and it sort of all started kind of coming together from there, really. So we kind of all met up at the ground. That was after it was raining pretty hard from kind of 8 till 10 in the morning. We were kind of a little bit worried. We didn't want to sort of set off in the wet. But yeah, it dried up a little bit.
Liberally apply cream to areas of your skin that can be in contact with point of friction before your ride. Cream may also be applied to the insert of your cycling shorts for extra protection and comfort. It can also be used as an effective moisturiser on all skin areas that might be dry or chapped.
You know, meeting Jeff was just great. Obviously, we did try and get him involved in actually doing a bit of the riding himself, but I think from the off he was never going to be doing that. But yeah, it was great to have his support for all the team and come out and meet the guys.
I'm actually getting tired and worn out just thinking about your incredible efforts. Hi, good to see you.
When we all assembled and we're chatting to Jeff, I mean, Jeff is very enthusiastic, very supportive, and he kept on going on about this incredible journey.
It's beyond the call of duty, and these guys are going to get an amazing reception when they get to Manchester, and I'm going to make sure of that. As a Mancunian, I'm proud, and as chairman of the football club, I'm proud as well. So I've got two reasons to cheer these boys off today.
We had a little issue with Stefano, who's supplying the kit for us, was late. He ended up delaying our start time by about hour and a half, which made us have to push hard the first day to make up the time that we lost there.
But when it did arrive, it looked, you know, pretty damn good, to say the least, and all coordinated, etc. And it looked the business.
And once you started loading the van up, the nerves sort of like kicked in, because you're thinking, oh, I haven't ridden 100 miles, you know, how am I going to get on? Am I going to struggle? Am I going to be all right?
Having our photographs taken, you know, adjacent to the pitch as well, and was really pretty good, because you don't get to enjoy that sort of location when there are so few of you.
So we came out of the club, went through Bournemouth, Kinson, into Wimborne, and then out towards Shaftesbury.
Town's a little bit busy, so we kind of wanted to ride sort of together, but at the same time people wanted to, like, I won't say show off a little bit, but obviously stretch their legs, so we say, some more than others.
Obviously you can't just get on a bike and ride 300 miles. Trotter did try.
That day, I've never known him moan so much. Constantly, and Yeah, but by the time we got to Wimborne, he was starting to fault, really flagged then. I couldn't believe it. And, we probably only done not even 10 miles by then.
Once we got out onto the roads that we're familiar with out here and started the guys rolling, then it was a comfortable pace, quite honestly.
When we got to the top of the zigzag hill and he was really struggling, I thought, it's going to be like this the whole way there. And to be honest, it pretty much was.
You kind of think that we've done quite a bit of training. So actually, our training rides have kind of been, 50, 60, 70 miles, and he's rode kind of further than that. Then, so when he's struggling after, sort of 20 miles, you're a little bit like, hold on a minute, what's going on here?
The weekend previous, I'd just been on 4 days in Portugal on a stag do. 3 days before the big ride probably wasn't the best preparation.
Things happen on stag do's, you kind of drink more than you should. And obviously he was still feeling the brunt of that kind of 4 or 5 days later.
Stag do wasn't a good idea. My kidneys hurt, my lungs don't work. That's all I got. Well, I don't want it to wear off.
Are you dragging your front body across the floor?
Oh, that feels so much better. They were burning. It's all about chemise and the nipples.
It was a 12 last time, it's going to be a 15.
Yeah, it's not the most enjoyable thing, especially when you've got to try and get past Trotter.
We rode up through Froome, which is a nice little ride, but there are a few little inclines there, and by this time, Trotter was starting to feel his right knee, I think it was, a little bit, and we were having to take that into mind on our pace.
Man to man, it was the closest I've ever been to a human being on a bike, and he is quite happy to push up a hill when you're trying to pedal yourself up as well. But I have been in this situation where you've run out of energy, you've got no power in your legs, and luckily I was on my own, but there was no one to help. We were all there to help. Harris was pulling him along, I was pushing him when he needed it. He lost all his energy. Maybe he should have prepped a little better.
He's giving me drinks, giving me his coconut water. Apparently it's his special juice, keeps you going, the coconut water. And then the final we got there, best moment of the trip, pulling into the pub at Bath.
But we got there. That was the whole thing, is we had to get there. Fuel stops. Once you had fuel in you, he started improving straight away. Then once he got his pasta in him and his water, and he took on some salts. He was good. And then it proves he's not as unfit as he thinks. And bless his little knee excuse. Ow, my knee.
With the kit and with Mike struggling a little bit, when we got there, the pub was closed. So we had to kind of start devouring food which was in the van, which was fine. But it was quite a hot day actually, so it was we were already feeling quite tired by that point.
But Michael needs a 30-mile stop with fuel.
Oh yeah, we're doing that, yeah. That's what we're doing.
Unfortunately, one team member is slightly struggling. They're at a stag do at the weekend, so yeah, Mike Trotter has been lagging behind a little bit, but he's made it to the lone stop. Going to get the refuel in now, and fingers crossed he'll be all right for the last sort of 50 kilometres to the end and the hotel for this evening.
We reset off again to ride through the tunnel, the old railway tunnel, which you go underneath Bath, which are quite an experience because they're long and they're very dark, even with little lights on that come on as you approach them, and it's quite an eerie sensation.
All of a sudden, you just felt cold. You could feel the wind blowing through the tunnels. You're thinking, where's that coming from? Then all of a sudden you see the tunnel entrance and you go in there. So then you take your sunnies off because you can't see anything as soon as you go in it.
People coming the other way, runners and other cyclists. Strange, just an odd experience that was.
And you were quite happy to get out.
And then we joined up with a bit more flat routes onto the Bristol-Bath railway track, which again is alongside the river and alongside the railway line. So it's a comfortable sort of a situation where people were able to regroup and get their breath back before we made for the Severn Bridge.
Who knew Wales was so popular? Apparently it is today. Chopper, if we don't make it, we're really sorry, but you want to look at that.
Crossing the Severn Bridge was pretty spectacular. We all knew that we were nearly there, just probably about a mile to go. Happy as anything. So we had a little moment together on the bridge, photos, bit of hugging, like showing a bit of love to each other.
Seeing it from that perspective on your bikes at the side of the road was awesome way to kind of finish that first day.
You think, well, that's a good few hours drive on its own, and we've just rode all the way from Bournemouth over the Severn Bridge, and it took a lot to take in, really.
Come off the bridge the other side and standard, as we always do, got lost.
That took us down a little bridle track which wasn't exactly suitable for road bikes.
Reliable sat-nav on the front, he took us the wrong way.
Obviously the sat-nav, beep, off route again. We ended up doing cyclocross towards the end of the night. We went from tracks to paths to a muddy path to a farmer's field.
But yeah, we put ourselves on the right track. We knew where we went wrong, or they knew where we went wrong, and we just had to go back on ourselves. And we, didn't take long to get to the hotel.
I don't think there was any point where no one was not going to make it, but at the same time, it was just really cool to kind of ride in together. We found the hotel quite easily, which on previous occasions sometimes hasn't happened.
And when we got to the pub in Chepstow, then we all enjoyed a beer together.
There's something wrong with it. I think it could go a bit weird now. Oh, someone's had a turf out this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Profile-wise, the second day was a lot more climbing, probably kind of 2 or maybe even three more times than the first day. But everyone was kind of in good spirits. We had a good sort of meal and everyone kind of got to know each other a bit more, and obviously talking about the first day of the ride as well, which was great.
I must admit, my legs are knackered and I really didn't want to get out of bed this morning, but hey-oh, here's another 95 miles. Let's do it.
It was a bit sore in the calves, but it was an enjoyable race. Well, race, when I say a race, it ends up all being a race, doesn't it? Up every hill, round every corner. Need more food stops.
Lemon flavour tablets, they sent them to me for free.
Really?
Nutrifizz. Yeah. They did say, can you put something on Twitter? Reference Twitter, Nutrifizz. It's good for you.
By the time we'd had enjoyed a really good breakfast, actually, and people put a few calories under their belt, ready for knowing we were going to do it again at 90 odd miles. That was 90 miles, providing we stayed in the right direction, of course.
Just setting off from Chepstow, going to do a right out of here and head towards Ross-on-Wye before Ludlow for lunch, and then Telford, which is the final stop of today. So yeah.
Came out the hotel to start with, turned the wrong way, obviously following Chopper again, getting us lost, standard.
But it's nice to see these towns, even though you don't need to. Let's do a few more miles. I'm sure he was going to make it 100 mile a day if we wanted to or not.
We went down a big steep hill, and I thought, yeah, this is nice, I can do downhill. That was just teasing me for what was actually going to happen that day. Straight after that downhill, 5 mile incline, and my knee gave out. And that was me, 100 miles of pain in my knee. I struggled. That was a hard day.
It was relatively, well, actually saying that, it wasn't relatively flat at all. It was quite hilly the whole way there.
We pulled into this pub, had our break for that day.
Yeah, we went, man. Yeah, we went.
Yes, save some for another day, son.
We all pulled out, and Paul gets a puncture literally cycled about 10 metres puncture.
Paul did very well to change it as quickly as he did, but he did have the help of 2 other firemen and several other people looking over his shoulder, trying to give as much assistance as possible.
I say to the group, I'll go ahead because you're going to catch me up because I'm slow at this point. Some of the guys come with me, some stay, and then the story goes is Cav the cleat Kavanagh decides he needs to go in the shop and get some new cleats, but didn't tell anyone, and got left behind.
After sort of quarter of an hour, we decided perhaps we better find out where Carl was. So Paul rang him, and he said, "Oh, I just getting some new cleats, aren't I?"
And as we've gone through Ross and Wye, I've spotted a bike shop, so I quickly darted in, shouted to Paul, "I'm just going into the shop to change my cleat." Obviously, yeah, he's not heard me, carried on riding.
He said, "I did tell you, Paul, but you obviously didn't hear me."
Then I've had the phone call, I'm trying to change the cleat in the shop with the most helpful shop assistant ever. Slings it at you, crack on. And then I'm riding out of Ross and Wye to try and catch up. But as we've come out of Ross and Wye, if you turn left, I'd have caught the group, but I didn't. I went straight on to a roundabout.
Carl said, "Don't worry," he said, "I got my phone with a sat nav on, so I'll find it. Where is it you're stopping for lunch?" So it was Ledlow, was the anticipated target. He said, "I'll find my way there, no problem."
And then I had my own sat nav issues with my phone not catching up with 3G. And about 40 minutes later, I'm still back at the same junction after riding for 20 minutes. And then it was like, right, make a phone call, make a decision. I thought, right, go A road. So I went down the dual carriageway on my own. The group's now gone on, so I said I'd catch them up. And I was riding about 25, 30 minutes behind them, but they were riding at a lick again. So every village I came to, they'd already been through it.
They'd stopped at the first pub on the way into Ledlow, and we there sat and waited for Carl to arrive.
We were just like, oh, they were right behind us. Everyone was right there. We got to the top of the hill, no one was there.
Waiting for Cav to turn up was like waiting for an age, basically. It was too long.
No, let's go. Wank put them up, mate. Oh no. How you feeling? Fucking was on my own. I was thinking, I'm lost. What it is, when I was talking to you, I was where we should have turned left. And I went all the way back up to Ross on Wye. Then went some, I'll show on Strava later if it worked out. It's Marins. Oh yeah, I've been missing.
Pull out the pub by the river, and we're cruising along after Cav's finally caught us up. We all had a decent break there, about an hour or so. Cav probably got about 10 minutes because he was so far behind. But we carried on going. My knee was getting worse and worse throughout the day.
So I dropped back to Paul, who I don't think was striking that much, but he was there kind of just cycling with Mike, just so he was cycling with someone. And yeah, we were cycling along, took a left off the main road to what was actually one of the hardest parts of the ride. It was quite off the beaten track, as it were, and a lot of hills.
And I look up, and a long way up, I can see Chopper up there. And I'm like, that's a big hill. It's hidden by the trees. I couldn't see it, but that's a very big hill. If he's up there and I'm down there, and I knew I was going to struggle.
Well done, mate. Easy, mate. Yeah, you just smashed that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. I said to the guys you'd walk up that, mate, so...
The cunt fucking nearly ran me over in his fucking car.
So we were climbing up these hills, and then the film crew were there to see us there, and they were like, "Oh, you're kind of like leading the way now," and we were like, "Okay, we're leading the way." So that means that either we're going the wrong way, but the film crew's there, so I'm kind of thinking we're going the right way. And in fact, the other 6 riders had belted on down the main road, and obviously not taken that left-hand corner.
This is a good time to tell you that they didn't come up that and they went straight down the main road.
Who? Everyone else?
Yeah, no one else has been up it.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I know.
You're joking me?
No.
to find out that me with my bad knee had managed to get up this hill and most of the group, 6 others, had gone the wrong way and missed out this massive, massive hill, I was not a happy bunny.
So 6 people have chosen to take the much easier route on the main road. We've just come up that bitch of a hill there. And
it wasn't a bitch of a hill, it was a fucking steep hill.
and yeah, but if you don't do the actual route which is designated, then as far as I'm concerned, then you don't get your certificate at the end.
Basically, I can remember waiting, and we all said, yeah, we've got to carry on. Well, senior did say keep going along this road, so we keep going along. And we were doing some good speed. It was quite a nice ride actually. And when we got to like the end of the road, they said, oh yeah, you've got to turn right here. So it seemed to be a lot turning right.
Obviously the group behind have gone left on the right route, we've carried on straight, and before we know it, we are lost. As in, not lost, but we're not together as a group now, we're 2 separate groups, all heading for the same place. So that was entertaining. I think I've seen more sights around that part of the country by doing wrong turns than you would have if you'd been in a car.
Fuck off, you cunts. That's what I want to write. If I had signal, I would write that.
Can you stop saying that? For the cat, like, we can't put any of this shit on. Sorry.
I would politely tell the boys that I'm quite upset that they got lost and did not go up the very big hill.
Much better. 6 miles?
Yeah.
You said like 8 about 3 hours ago.
6 miles, mate.
We can do this.
You can do this.
Yeah, come on, boys. Okay.
Alright, we'll probably just meet you at the hotel now.
By the time we got to the hotel, when we got there, we didn't kind of realise whether or not we were going to be there first or going to be there second, but in fact we were there first. So actually, sometimes it kind of pays to take your time, make sure you get the right way, and and not go down the main road and start following people and pretending you know that you're following your sat-nav, because actually, I know the way.
How are we, me, the slowest, injury, get there before everyone else?
Before we even got to Telford, there was this iron bridge, and we dropped down a hill, and we went over this iron bridge. It's a lovely little village. I can't remember what it was called.
It's called Iron Bridge.
Is it actually? Yeah. All right, there you go. That's a great name.
They weren't unhappy, they were just cold. No one was aggressive, no one was annoyed. Everyone was cold and hungry and just wanted to go to their hotel room, curl up into a little ball and die.
Apparently we had one postcode and the hotel was another one. So we kept on obviously on our original postcode, and then we kept on going around the circuit before Sarge decided perhaps we ought to phone the hotel and find out just exactly where they were.
We're all ringing.
Kevin. Carlos. What's the hotel?
White House Hotel.
White House Hotel.
In Wellington, yeah?
In Wellington.
What's this main road called, mate?
Watling Street.
Watling Street.
On what street?
No, what's the town called? Watling Street. It's not called.
You got it, Kev?
Wellington, mate.
It could be a bit aggro when everyone else gets here. For the first time, I won't be involved in it as a rarity.
The joy that I had knowing that I did that hill and I still beat all of them lot there made my day. It was the best day of my life.
Who's here first?
Tortoise.
They all left you behind.
Oh, apart from these 2 lovely ladies.
There's a story about a hare and a tortoise or something like that.
Sometimes the turtle beats the hare.
Even when sat-nav got us lost, it was like, well, where are we going now, sat-nav? Well, it's up this road. Okay, so you ride up this road. Where are we going now then, sat-nav? Down this road. Go back down where you just came from.
There's a great picture on someone's Strava, I think it was Cavs, and we went round a roundabout and we went off at every junction, like for 100 metres, and I just couldn't believe it when he said, no, we've gone wrong again, no, we've gone wrong again. But no one knew the name of the hotel. That was the big issue, and Dan said, I'll know it when I see it. Obviously you've been here before, mate.
We've been every direction of 5 points of a star to find a hotel that he'll know when he sees it. And guess what? He still never found it.
We went round every exit on a roundabout. Every exit. 5 exits. Still didn't have a round exit.
Who's not got a room yet?
His thing says this way, so I went, okay.
So what happens is that on ours, because it happened to the first time that we got lost in the morning.
I'm the one without the sat nav.
Well, I'll write it down.
Well, it's going to be 2 seconds.
That's the longest 30 miles I've ever been on. Well, we only shot 2, haven't we?
You've got 2 guys that work.
Needs must, mate.
With it being slightly shorter than the first kind of couple of days, the weather was great. It was a Saturday, so there was kind of less traffic about in the morning, and everyone was kind of like, yeah, we're all going to do this. Like, we're all feeling pretty good.
What I need, Gav.
By the end of it, you'll be chucking your bike up.
Why not at all? I won't be able to get off it.
No, exactly. I mean, lift it up. Oh, fuck it. It's this way. No, it's this way. It's this way. It's this way. Oh, we've got the Alps a lot. We've been trying.
So we set off on the Saturday morning knowing that it was perhaps 70 miles, and in theory it was going to be flat. But like flat, there are gentle undulations. But we nevertheless managed to keep together remarkably well, with different people taking over the front and mopping up at the back, and Trotter in fact making every effort really to keep up.
I mean, day 1 was all meeting each other. Day 2 was there's a couple of dramas, but day 3 everyone was back in their Saladrunk kit. We looked like a team, joking aside, all different shapes and sizes, but it just looked really good, and we all rode together.
Sorry, apologies, swearing.
Beep, off route. Manchester, Manchester.
You're getting close, you can see the planes in the sky, obviously Manchester Airport, things like that, so you can start counting down the miles. But it was just such a lovely Saturday morning. Weather was good, the cycling was good, the banter again for everyone. Everyone was chatting, everyone was laughing, and it was just one of them days where you looked and thought, yeah, this is really nice. It was a really good day.
Good, that's good.
I must admit, the whole way there, the weather was really good. My tan lines are amazing. I don't want to show them off too much. I must put more sun cream on.
But when there's kind of 9 guys all in the same kit, you've got a van following them, with like a film and stuff like that, everyone's kind of looking at you, and we've got like the badge on the shirt, which obviously, great that we could have that, the badge on the shirt, the badge on the bib shorts and stuff like that. You kind of felt that actually you're not just representing kind of yourselves doing it, but you're actually representing the club, and it's kind of like an extension of that Premier League journey that we've all taken from kind of League 2, where we might have been on, because like I said previously, you're not going to do it to Stockport or Bury or something like that, but kind of doing it to Old Trafford was pretty special, so yeah.
Train station, so right.
You just don't cycle right. You all fuck off in front. Sorry, swearing. You all disappear off in the front. Not caring about the sat nav results.
It's all about segments, isn't it?
Yeah, segment, Tom.
I don't even know this.
Beep. Of course. Beep. Of course.
Happy days.
You'll never get rid of me.
Oh, you're shit. And you know you are, you're shit.
But then I can say I've taken part in every part of the project.
I think that when we arrived and rode down Sir Matt Busby Way, then we knew, this was a bit special actually.
Actually getting to Old Trafford, you kind of had the people that had been struggling for most of the trip suddenly woke up, or their legs kind of woke up, and there was a bit of a sprint to the finish.
It was a great sense of achievement. You've come from Bournemouth on your own legs, pushed your way all the way to Manchester. It was, when you turn that corner, everyone's got to say, doesn't matter whether you support Man United or not, that's an impressive football ground.
On the way there, we made this little pact, whereas, because I had been at the back most of the way with my bad knee, I could lead the boys down Sir Matt Busby into the stadium. We turned the corner and they all spring a surprise on me. Every single one of them flew past me after I'd led them the last 2 miles all the way to the stadium, at good pace as well. All come flying past me.
On the second day, he said, "Oh, I beat you here, beat you to the hotel." So I was definitely not letting them beat me to Old Trafford.
And to ride in first, done you all.
It was an achievement, and people appreciated the effort that had been put into that achievement. So it was really good to arrive in good spirits, yeah.
It was an achievement for everyone to get there. It wasn't about individual effort, even though Dan wanted it to be. But as like Cav nicknamed him Sat Nav, it was he was always on the front. Even if he was on the back, he had to be on the front straight away.
Whoever arranged it, fair play. We ended up pitch side, photos, sat in the dugout. It was one of them moments where you think, wow, not many people get to do this, as in how we did it. We rode to Manchester, and it was brilliant.
Tom came last time, or Trarry, or Cockney Red, as he's now known. And he was very much up for volunteering to do the van, so he's sort of taken on it from Uncle Bob doing it last time. And I wouldn't say his van driving skills were up to the previous standards, but being in the right place at the right time, all day long he was there with the food and everything like that, and it looked like he really enjoyed himself. And these things happen because of people like him.
Lifesaver, really. Couldn't have done it without him. And supplying me with the food and drink that I required on the trip every step of the way. He was also a bit of a guide, because every time he overtook us or I saw him, I knew we were going on the right path.
Obviously, there was a few issues with the van reversing. Not his forte, is it? Like even the old boy got upset with him. No, that was like funny, That's a shit driver, isn't it?
He may not be quite so adept at parking as my brother was when we went to Paris, but he was there, and that was one of the a crucial factor really.
First ever Bournemouth game that I've ever cycled to. Premier League's been going for 23 years, and a game's never been called off for a bomb scare. And 3 o'clock, game was delayed by 45 minutes, 3:15, the game was off.
Sat in the concourse, everyone's having a beer, everyone's few up in the stands, we're all sat at different places. We all got tickets, which was, was unprecedented, because we didn't know we were going to have tickets or not. We all ended up with tickets. And then the crowd's just starting to bounce in the concourse, the singing's going, the beer's flowing. I said, and then bang, ding dong. Ladies and gentlemen, please evacuate the stadium. Like, you're fucking joking. Come all this way to watch a football match.
Yeah, these things happen. We were doing it for charity. We raised a lot of money. We obviously got quite a bit of press coverage on South Today and through the Echo and whatever. But yeah, to have it cancelled is just, there you go. Devo.
But to your group, I mean, and I mean, don't mean this in a little way. You're a tight little unit. Don't let the women ruin it.